right? To understand nonviolence, we have to understand evil, what it is and what it's trying to do. So this is something I've never really read, or a lot of these other things I'm talking about are, everyone already knows all these things, but I've never really heard this thing. So let's get into it, man. So evil, what is evil? What does evil want? When we analyze the institution, evil wants power control of the external world. So evil is trying to do the same thing that we all want to do, but by force. That's basically a simple definition of evil. Evil is trying to, we come from the unconscious, the unity from God, from this unified, glorious realm. And then we all get subdivided into individuals. The division occurs, the isolation, the division. Consciousness occurs, individual consciousness. From the subconscious, we go into consciousness, and then we got to go back consciously. Consciously go back. Consciously go back. And so that's our journey, everyone's journey. Evil is trying to do this by force, trying to go back, because there's always a void. When we come into consciousness, there's this void. There's like this emptiness because we know we're not home yet. Where is home? Home is back with God. It's unified with everyone, connected with everyone in that blissful unity. Evil wants that. We all want that. But evil is trying harder to get there. They're trying to force their way back. And that's the hardest thing to understand. The righteous, so we all have evil and righteousness in us, right? When we're righteous, we're doing things the other way, the good way, not forcing things, not forcing it, but doing it through God's way, which is through love, as we just defined it in the last video. So righteous is going back consciously. And when you do it, when you consciously go back, when you're doing it through love, when you're choosing love, you can start to connect and start to see the unity of the whole. You can experience it, and it's amazing. But you can't force it. Love can't be forced. So what's evil trying to do? Evil thinks that it can force its way back. So it's very repulsive to a lot of people to think that evil is trying to love, basically, with so much conviction that evil is trying harder and harder and harder than most people. Very evil people are not lazy usually. They usually have a lot of conviction and a lot of desire, and they're trying so hard, because what happens is evil tries to go back to this. They want to get to heaven or whatever. They do something forcefully, and then nothing happens, and then they're empty and they feel worse than they did before. And then some people just give up, right? Most people are like, all right, that doesn't feel good. That's not good. But the most evil spirits keep on going. They're like, no, I'm not going to give up on this. I want this thing that I know I can get. And it's my right to have it. And I want this. And I'm doing this. And they keep on going. They keep on go. And but it's ignorance. Evil in the end is just ignorance. If they knew what they were doing, they would not continue to do it, because it's kind of like hitting your head on a door. It's not going to give you any results. It's not going to, but the effort is there. So this is why we have to love evil spirits, because the only way to bring evil spirits back to the righteous, to this unified whole, because we're not whole without them. They're part of us. Remember, we're all one. They're part of us. You can't isolate them and say, oh, it's just us. And inside of us, it's the same thing. We're part evil also. So in order to create this unified whole, both within and without, and create this kingdom of God on earth, we have to face evil with love, because evil will never bow to condemnation. They will only bow to love. And that's I think that's one of the great mysteries. Like, evil will never bow to condemnation, and that's all we do, is we condemn evil all day long, which is not. You should condemn evil acts, but the people behind those evil acts must be treated with love. They must understand what they're doing wrong, but they must not be condemned for that. You know, we can't be a fear-based society. We have to be a love-based society, and we have to understand that evil is trying to do what we all want. And so once we understand the purpose, the objective of evil, how evil's trying to do what we all want, we understand that everyone's trying their best in life. The evil people, everyone's trying their best with what they've been given initially, how they were born, what type of upbringing they had, and everyone obviously has choice, but everyone has had a different experience. Even two twins that have had the same apparent upbringing, they've had very different perceptions of the world and the way they perceive things. So everyone's trying their best. And so that compassion, we have to develop that compassion and the understanding. We have to understand. We can't just do this by faith. We have to know what evil's trying to do, and we have to know how to treat evil. And this is why it's so important to understand that when you face evil, if you face evil with evil, you're falling into that same trap. You're in ignorance. You're trying to achieve something. You're trying to go back. You're trying to achieve something with. And what did we just say about evil? Evil's never going to bow to evil. Evil does not bow to evil. The only thing evil will bow to is unconditional love. That's the only thing evil will surrender to eventually, is unconditional love. So if you understand that, and you know that in your heart, and you've surrendered to unconditional love, this understanding will begin in your heart. And when you're faced with evil next time, you can face evil with love, and that will give you power. That will give you unimaginable power. That will give you unimaginable power, man. I'm just telling you the way it is, dude. And if you can understand that, then it is the most irresponsible act to face evil with evil, and not the opposite. And so that is so hard to understand, because people say you're being so irresponsible. You're not defending the people you love with force. And it's exactly the opposite. If you're trying to defend the people you love and yourself or whoever with evil, if you're trying to use violence to protect your own, you're being so irresponsible, because you're not summoning the power of God We know the power of God is the most powerful force in the universe. I mean, the power of God is, thousands of grains of sand on the ocean, and evil is the one pebble grain. And so the one pebble on the beach comes to your house, right? Satan comes to your door, knocks on your door. The one pebble. And you want to fight Satan. He's coming to rape your wife, right? And that one pebble is coming to your door. And you want to fight that pebble with your other pebble here. Two pebbles going at it. You're missing that you have all of the sand in the world at your disposal, and you're not using it. All the sand in the world is God's love. And if you face that pebble with God's love, what is the pebble going to do? It's going to be like, all right, man. It's a no-brainer. It's very easy. So that's just the hardest thing to understand, and that's the hardest thing to instill in a culture that's been blinded by these lies that the institutions are perpetuating. Satan, the master of evil, or whoever heads evil, whoever's the main spirit of evil, is always going to be able to defeat evil with evil, because they're the master of evil. So that's another thing to consider. Like if Satan knocks on your door and you want to defeat the master of war, right? The head of the violence, the head of the mafia of violence, right? With your little shotgun, it's kind of laughable. Like imagine the U.S. military shows up and wants to defeat you. The $1 trillion military shows up with their tanks and their, all their weapons and you want to fight them with a shotgun? Like really? That's what you want to do? That's really how you're going to protect your people? Please, let's stop this insanity, man. Just stop the insanity, bro. You gotta move into what is true. The truth will set you free, man. And this is the truth. That love, unconditional love, has so much power, so much more power than evil will ever have. It's just not even a competition. And the protection that you will witness when you are in situations where you are confronted by evil. If you try this, you will know with your own experience. You don't even have to. It's a no. Once you experience it, then you know it, and then you can't go back. It's the same thing. Once you experience it, but if you don't know it and you never experience it, you're still in ignorance. So if you're ever confronted by evil and you face evil with unconditional love and you understand and you see what evil's trying to do with that force, that's so much force, and you confront that force with compassion and with love, and you say, you know what? We love you no matter what, man. No matter what, we're going to love you. You're going to see the evil just vanish. And it's magic. And it's beautiful. So, try it. Just try it. If you've never tried it, just try it. And see what happens. Don't be afraid. Jump off the cliff. And once you jump off the cliff and surrender to God and God's ways of love, you can join us in bringing the kingdom back to this earth.